All right, first audience questions of 2018. We're starting with Yvette, who has a question about 2018. She writes, what will the major political issues and battles of 2018 be? So there's like micro and macro to this. I think one of the micro issues is we are eventually going to hear about the Supreme Court's decision about the anti-gay cake baking case. And I think that that's going to be interesting because it does relate to the new wave of anti-gay activism. I told you, and I wasn't the only one saying it, I'm merely saying we discussed, when the Supreme Court ruled that states can no longer ban same-sex marriage, we talked and were very clear about the reality that the next frontier in anti-LGBT activism was going to be using so-called religious freedom to discriminate in other ways, whether it's at jobs or by businesses, whatever else. This case is going to be a really important decision in terms of the precedent around saying it is my my constitutionally promised right to be able to use my religion as a guiding pillar if LGBT, as they would call them, lifestyles don't match my beliefs, or use whatever phrasing you want that resonates with you or with them or whatever. So I think that that's going to be an interesting decision. The midterms at the macro level, these midterms and midterm elections typically have particularly low turnout. Generally, there is a wave, although George W. Bush didn't experience this in 2002. Generally, in the midterms, you have a wave where the party not in the White House picks up seats.
Yep.
In general, midterms have consequence, but not massive consequence, particularly during a president's first term. That could be very different in 2018. These midterms could determine if there is a door opened for the impeachment or push for resignation of Donald Trump. Will our elected officials push for it, or will they push against it? Whether you have a Democratic or Republican majority in the House and or Senate, going to be a big factor in that. So I think that these midterms, I hope turnout is high, but they actually could be some of the more consequential midterms in a long time.
It's interesting because the top political issues of this year will probably be decided by Trump because it's whatever policy proposals he puts forward. So
That's
last
right.
year we think about healthcare, him trying to repeal the Affordable Care Act.
Right.
And we think about the tax plan at the very end of the year.
Yep.
Maybe this year he will go for infrastructure. Maybe he'll focus on the wall instead. I think it's kind of unclear at this point.
Yeah.
But it's largely up to him.
He has, I mean, listen, the question is, what will the Republicans make an issue? Because they have huge agenda-setting power right now. That's part of the power of controlling the White House and the Senate and the House of Representatives, which is that not only do you have more than 50% of the votes, you also control the agenda outside of some very specific procedural moves that Democrats are sometimes able to employ depending on the nature of whatever topic it is they want to take up in the House or Senate. Not only do the Republicans have the majority of the votes, they control the discussion, and that's a major thing.
And what if there's another Supreme Court battle, too? I know Kennedy was talking about
Yeah.
maybe retiring.
Yep.
There are quite a few progressive justices on the court now who are in their 80s, so you never know if they pass away or what have you, or decide to retire. Then there's going to be a battle for control of the Supreme Court.
That would be huge. And again, this is why the message is we got to vote. We've got to vote in 2018. We've got to vote them out. Very few people vote, comparatively speaking, in general in the United States. Even fewer people vote in midterms. We've got to vote, and we've got to vote them out.